Today, we're going to talk about something incredibly personal. For so many of us, it's something deeply painful. We're going to explore the path to rebuilding healthy, safe, and truly loving relationships, especially for those whose first experiences with love were tangled up with fear. This is a journey of healing, and it begins right now with understanding.
So let's start right here with a question. Have you ever felt that rising tide of panic, that cold spiral of anxiety when a text message just sits there, seen, with no reply? Or maybe you've been on a first date and you find yourself sharing the most intimate, painful details of your life, almost like you can't stop yourself, leaving the other person just stunned. Or maybe the opposite is true for you. You feel a genuine connection starting to form, a real warmth, and then this powerful, primal urge to run, to sabotage it, to just pull away takes over completely. If any of that sounds painfully familiar, well, then you already know the answer. You know deep in your bones why relationships can feel like you're navigating a minefield.
And here's the reason why. For some of us, love arrived broken. If you've experienced complex trauma in your childhood, it's tragically likely that when love first appeared in your life, it didn't come alone. It arrived hand in hand with fear, with control, with a deafening, unpredictable silence, or worse. Just think about that for a moment. The very people who were supposed to be your protectors, your safe harbor, they may have been the source of your deepest harm.
And when that happens, love and fear become fused together, almost inseparably linked in your nervous system. This creates a primal conflict, a deep-seated war that plays out in every one of your adult relationships. You might find yourself on one of two extremes. Either you cling too tightly, so terrified of being abandoned that you suffocate the very connection you crave, or you push people away, building walls so high that no one can ever get close enough to hurt you again. It is a painful, exhausting paradox, and these broken relationships, they are truly one of the most harmful, long-lasting legacies of childhood trauma.
But if you hear nothing else I say today, please hear this. This is the most important message I have for you. These patterns are not a life sentence. You can heal. Let me say that again, because it needs to be heard. You can heal. Your attachment style, the way your body and brain learn to connect with others, it is not set in stone. It can change. It can evolve as you do the work to become healthier. You really can learn how to build the secure, loving, and peaceful relationships that you've always deserved. And this explainer will walk you through a clear path to do just that.
Okay, let's dive in. To heal, we first have to understand the shape of the wounds themselves. So, in this first section, we're going to explore the specific ways that trauma disrupts our fundamental ability to connect with others as adults.
You see, childhood trauma leaves these deep scars that show up in our relationships in very distinct ways. We're going to walk through 7 of the most common patterns. And as I describe them, just notice. Notice if any of them resonate with your own experience, because recognizing the pattern is the first, most crucial step toward changing.
The first scar is a profound difficulty with trust. I mean, if you grew up in an environment that was unpredictable, chaotic, or just plain unsafe, your brain was wired for one thing: survival. It learned to expect danger. So it makes perfect sense then that as an adult, it would be hard to believe that people will keep their word or that they truly have your best interests at heart. This can look like a constant, low-level suspicion of your partners, always waiting for the other shoe to drop, expecting betrayal, or needing constant reassurance that they're not going to leave you. It isn't a choice, it's a learned survival mechanism.
The second is a deep-seated, just visceral fear of abandonment. If as a child you experienced neglect, or the loss of a caregiver, or simply wildly inconsistent care, you may have internalized this terrifying belief that your loved ones will inevitably leave you. And in adulthood, this transforms into that panic we spoke of earlier, the one that rises in your throat when someone pulls away, even for just a moment. This fear can fuel clinginess, it can fuel jealousy, and it makes it incredibly hard to ever feel truly secure in any relationship.
Third is a pattern of people-pleasing and what therapists call over-functioning, basically taking on way too much responsibility for the emotions and well-being of others. Many children in traumatic homes learn to survive by becoming hyper-attuned to the moods of the adults around them. You learned how to anticipate what they needed to keep the peace, just to stay safe. The cost of that is you grow into an adult who reflexively ignores your own needs. You might overextend yourself for others, find it almost physically impossible to say no, and feel a crushing wave of guilt for setting even the smallest boundary.
Now, this next one is fascinating because it's not just in your head, it is in your body. Trauma literally disrupts the development of your nervous system, and the result, scar number 4, is emotional dysregulation. As an adult, this means that a relatively small stressor, a canceled plan, a minor disagreement, can trigger an outsized, overwhelming reaction. You might have explosive anger that seems to come from absolutely nowhere, or you might completely withdraw and shut down, unable to speak. This makes it incredibly difficult to resolve conflict calmly, and it often creates these painful, chaotic cycles in your relationships.
The fifth scar is a toxic, corrosive combination of shame and low self-worth. If a child grows up feeling unwanted, or constantly criticized, or simply invisible, they often internalize a devastating core belief: I am fundamentally unlovable. As an adult, this belief can cause you to tolerate mistreatment, to settle for unhealthy relationships because you feel, deep down, it's all you deserve. It can even cause you to sabotage a good relationship when things start to feel safe, because that safety feels so foreign to your internal story.
And this leads us directly to the sixth scar: recreating familiar patterns. You see, unresolved trauma has a kind of gravitational pull. It often leads us, unconsciously, back into dynamics that feel familiar, even when we consciously know they are unhealthy and painful. For example, someone who had a controlling parents might find themselves repeatedly drawn to controlling partners. Not because they want to be controlled, but because on some deep subconscious level, that dynamic feels normal. It feels like home.
And finally, the seventh scar. This one can look like the exact opposite, but it's just as damaging: overcompensating. If you hated the home you grew up in, you might swear to yourself that you will do everything completely differently. But if this comes from a place of pure reaction rather than true healing, it can create its own set of problems. For instance, if your family was chaotic, you might become rigidly controlling. If they were deeply shame-based, you might swing to an extreme of having no boundaries at all. Overcompensating is an attempt to escape the past, but it so often ends up creating new wounds in the present.
So, these scars, these deeply learned patterns, they don't just exist in a vacuum. They shape our internal compass for relationships, leading to what psychologists call insecure attachment styles. So let's look at the three most common ones that result from trauma. Think of them as three broken compasses, all pointing away from true north.
First is the anxious attachment style. If this is your pattern, you crave closeness and intimacy more than anything, but you are constantly, relentlessly worried about being rejected or abandoned. This inner turmoil can lead you to constantly seek reassurance, to try and change yourself to be more lovable, or to relentlessly pursue your partner to prove their affection. It is an exhausting way to live, always feeling like you're one wrong move away from losing everything.
The second style is avoidant attachment. For you, closeness itself feels scary. Your past has taught you that vulnerability is a direct path to pain, so you protect yourself by keeping relationships on a surface level. You might push partners away when they get too close, or shut down your own emotions when things get deep. You may rarely share your true joys or pains, which ultimately leads to a profound sense of loneliness and distance, even when you're sitting right next to someone you care about.
And the third style, which is often the one most directly linked to severe trauma, is disorganized attachment. This is the ultimate paradox. You desperately want the warmth of closeness, but at the very same time you are terrified of it. This creates a confusing and chaotic push-pull dynamic. One moment you might dive intensely into a relationship, and the next you feel deep mistrust and pull away violently. It's a constant internal conflict, wanting to run toward and away from the same person, not knowing how to get your needs for safety and connection met at the same time.
The therapist Esther Perel said it perfectly. Tell me how you were loved, and I'll tell you how you love. Your early relationships create your love maps. They teach you what feels normal, what feels comfortable, what feels like love. This quote perfectly captures the shift we're about to make. We've looked at the map of the past. Now, let's look at the science that shows us how to draw a new one.
So how do we build the path forward? Well, we start with the science of hope. This next section is all about how our brains are not fixed, and how new experiences, specifically new, safe relational experiences, can literally rewire our capacity for connection.
So, the crucial point is this: every single experience of safety helps rewire the brain. This is a concept called neuroplasticity. As children, our brains are supposed to learn how to calm down from our caregivers. This is called co-regulation. It's kind of like learning a song by listening to someone else sing it. A parent's gentle touch, their calm voice, their steady presence, these things teach our nervous system the melody of safety. And if that never happened for you, the incredible news is that your brain can still learn that song. In adulthood, our nervous system can borrow the calm from a safe person until that new, peaceful pattern becomes our own.
So that brings us to the most important question of all. How do you actually do it? On a practical level, How do you start to build healthy, secure attachment if it was never modeled for you? Now, this is not about quick fixes. It's a slow, gradual, and deeply worthwhile process. Let's walk through 5 concrete stages.
Here it is, the roadmap to healing. It involves 5 key stages, from therapy to mindset. We'll explore the therapeutic relationship, the practice of reparenting yourself, the surprising role a pet can play, the goal of earned, secure attachments, and the foundation of it all, a growth mindset. Let's walk through each one, step by step.
Okay, let's break this down. First up, the therapeutic relationship. Working with a skilled, trauma-informed therapist provides this unique container. It's a relationship built on compassion and understanding, but crucially, it's also a relationship with clear, consistent, predictable boundaries. This becomes a kind of laboratory for connection. It's a safe place to practice showing up as your real self and to learn, maybe for the very first time, that expressing emotional pain or having a disagreement does not have to end in rejection or abandonment. It becomes the model for what other healthy relationships can feel like. Now, number 2, reparenting yourself. This is about learning to give yourself the love, the validation, and the protection that you didn't receive as a child. It means when that harsh inner critic tells you to just get over it, you learn to pause and offer yourself kindness instead. You learn to say, it makes sense that you're sad. It makes sense that you're scared. I am here for you, and I'm not going anywhere. How we relate to ourselves is the blueprint for how we relate to others. The 3rd stage might seem a little unusual, but for some people, it is a powerful stepping stone. Getting a pet. A pet can offer unconditional love and consistency. Their genuine excitement to see you every day releases oxytocin. That's the bonding chemical. And it helps to build new neural pathways for safety and for the feeling of being truly wanted. It's not a solution for everyone, of course, but it can be a wonderful, low-stakes way to practice giving and receiving consistent care. This brings us to number 4, and maybe the most crucial stage of all, earned, secure attachments. This is the ultimate goal. A true friendship or partnership that you build a healthy, secure attachment with after you've started doing some of your own healing work. The key here is to go slow. You build trust over time through small, consistent actions. You learn to practice healthy disagreement and, importantly, healthy repair. You teach your brain through direct experience that conflict doesn't have to be a catastrophe. It can actually end in greater closeness and understanding. And finally, underpinning all of this, the 5th stage is adopting a growth mindset. You will not do this perfectly. You are going to make mistakes. Other people will make mistakes. A growth mindset means seeing these moments not as proof that you are broken or that healing is impossible, but as opportunities to learn, opportunities to apologize, to repair, and to grow. These are skills that can be learned, not just in your mind, but in the very wiring of your nervous system.
I want to leave you with this thought. The work of healing is hard. It will ask more of you than you think you have to give, but it is so worth it. Because at the core of all of this is a fundamental truth that trauma may have tried to erase. You are worthy of safe and healthy love. You cannot heal relational trauma in isolation. It is a wound that was formed in a relationship, and it's a wound that must be healed in a relationship. Deep healing happens when you take small, safe risks in forming connections. It happens when you learn to tolerate the discomfort and vulnerability that comes with true closeness. And as you do this work, you'll gradually start to notice that you're connecting with healthier people and building longer-lasting, higher-quality relationships.
So I'll end with a final question for you to hold on to. What if? What if you could prove your deepest fears wrong? What if you could learn, not just as an idea, but from direct, lived experience, that you are in fact lovable, and that some people really are trustworthy and safe? That possibility is real, and it is waiting for you. Thanks for watching Mindscope. Join our journey to unlock the mind. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.